Good morning, guys. I hope everybody had a great spring break and that e-learning is off to a great start. Figured I would go ahead and do a story time since we're back in school now. I chose one of my favorites from when I was younger. This is something I love to do. This is a book that my mom read to me all the time. It's called Caps for Sale. Now, I'm a little confused by the cover because the man is sleeping in the top of a tree holding a single hat. Let's look and see why these hats are for sale. And they call them caps in this book. Interesting. Caps for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps. But he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them all on top of his head. First, he had his own cap, the checked one, then a bunch of gray, then a bunch of brown, then a bunch of blue, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. Look at that. I am way too clumsy. I would absolutely knock every single one of those off. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight as to not upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" This book must have been written a long time ago because 50 cents for a hat, my goodness. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody even wanted a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. Remember, he hadn't sold anything. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And he walked out of town, slowly, as to not upset his caps. Now, I think it's interesting how the author uses the word upset, because when I think upset, I think about a person and a person not being happy, but the author is using the word upset to mean knock over. Interesting. All right, so he's going to the country, he's hungry, he has no money, Miss Peebles can't turn the page. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," he thought. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as to not disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand up to feel if they were straight. First his own check cap, then the gray caps, and the brown caps, and the blue caps, and the red caps on the very, very top. I wonder if he can sleep with all those hats on his head. There they all were. So he went to sleep, and he slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. See if you notice anything about that picture. I'll give you a hint. Look at his head. Something's missing. Lots of things are missing. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were all in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. That is not good. He looked to the right of him. No caps. He looked to the left. No caps. He looked behind him. No caps. He looked behind the tree. No caps. Look at his hands. He is flustered. Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? Make a guess about what you think he saw. I'm going to guess it has something to do with the hats. On every branch sat a monkey. And on every monkey was a gray or brown or blue or red cap. Look at those monkeys. Now, we haven't noticed the monkeys in the book yet, so they came out of nowhere. Oh my gosh, and they look very happy with themselves. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. So finally, he spoke to them. Now, to me, the way his hands are behind his back, he looks mad. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking his finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." I'm gonna guess that's not what he wanted to hear. This made the peddler angry, so he shook both his hands at them and he said, "You monkeys, you, give me back my caps." But the monkeys then only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." That is not going over well. Now he felt quite angry. He stomped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stomped their feet and said back at him, "Tss, tss, tss." seems like they're copying him. By this time, the peddler was very, very angry. He stomped both of his feet and he shouted, "You monkeys, you! Give me back my caps!" But the monkeys then stomped both their feet and said, "Tss, tss, tss." Look at him. At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. Okay, now remember, what have the monkeys been doing up until this point? They've been copying him. So if his hat comes off, But then, each monkey pulled off his own cap. And all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying out of the tree. Yikes. So the peddler picked up his caps, put them back on his head. First his own check cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and finally the red caps on the very, very top. He's making his stacks. I don't know where the monkeys are in this picture. And slowly, he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." Poor little guy. He got all of his caps back, but I love that book because the monkeys copy him, and he's not realizing that when he throws his hat in anger, that they're just going to give him his hats back. I love it. All right, friends, don't forget, check out the library e-learning page. I put a new challenge up there, so take a look at that, and hopefully you can get featured on the website. I'll see you guys later. Bye.